All right, we are live.
Hey, everybody. It's me and Sakib again. And I've got with me my son in law. His name is Shove,
Yes.
and he is from Japan. He's visiting here in Dubai. He's been in the crypto space. Shove, how long have you been in the crypto space? How many years?
Almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years. He works for a crypto exchange in Japan. What is it? It's
Coin check.
Coin check.
CoinCheck in Japan. It's supposed to be one of the largest exchanges in Japan, and I'm happy to have him here and have him with us on the AMA today. We're going to be doing some really interesting stuff. We're going to go over the order that we placed for the miners. Sakib, what's the latest update? Have they arrived here in the UAE
They're supposed to
yet?
arrive
Do you have
today.
confirmation?
I'm getting
Okay.
confirmation, but they're already on the flight yesterday, and they're supposed to arrive by today
Okay,
in the
so
UAE.
if they arrive today, then we can probably expect them to clear customs by what, Tuesday, Wednesday of next
Yeah,
week?
that's basically
What
what it
I'm
is.
guessing?
Yeah, about Tuesday, Wednesday of next week.
Okay, and that's perfectly in line with everything else that's going on. We've got the lease agreement of the plot of land. So we negotiated the prices out, and now we're working with the landlord to make sure that the lease has all the things that we need for mining included in it. I think initially we were submitted with kind of a rough draft from the landowner, and it didn't really have any specific language in it that addresses our specific needs for running a mining operation site on the land. So we wanted to make some revisions of that and put that specific language in there. And you guys might ask yourself, well, it's a lease agreement. Like what kind of special things do you need to put in there? Well, we're about to go over that. Sakib, you have amended our
Yes.
version, and you said you've got an Arabic version of this as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So here's the English version, and then right below it is the Arabic
okay, and then
version.
there's the Arabic version. Okay.
Yeah.
We will need to make sure to take this either to our lawyer or a minutes. A
Right.
minutes is kind of a legal, I don't know
So it's called the
what the
typing
term
center,
is.
is what they say here.
They call it, yeah, they call it a minutes typing center, but basically it's a place where legal documents can kind of be generated. They do translations, things like that, things to facilitate business. Um, so without further ado, I'm going to pop this bad boy open and make it full screen on my screen. And we'll kind of read through it and make sure that, if there's any more suggestions or anything like that that I have, we'll make sure that we get that integrated in there. Hopefully, if all goes well and it approves my muster Monday, we will get this signed. And then the handover will begin for us to take over the site. Now, currently, the previous person that was leasing the plot of land, their gears. I don't know. Sakib, do we have any updates on that? Has that person removed their gear, or
Uh,
what's
they're
the
they're
status with
they're
that?
ready to remove their gear as soon as this is complete. So yeah,
I mean,
they're just waiting on us basically.
yeah. So Zayed told us, basically Monday we can start moving in, and I guess that means we can unplug his gear and
Hmm.
do whatever little cleanups and housekeeping things that we need to do to kind of bring it to spec, and then start moving in our gear. So the timing of everything seems to be going fairly smoothly. All right, so let's look at the parties involved here. So that would be Miss Fatima Abdul Muhammad, Emirati nationality, and then we are the tenant Paracan Z Cloud Computing Services, which we've shared our license with you guys, so you
Hmm.
see all that stuff adds up. All right, landlord owns a farm in Al Ain, which is kind of an area or a city or suburb, I would say, of Abu Dhabi in the Abu Dhabi Emirates.
Hmm.
And then it just kind of goes over the location, so nothing crazy there. Okay, so this is the first bit of language that I wanted to put into the lease agreement. So the lease area, which was initially 12 meters by 7 meters,
Hmm.
is expandable to 24 by 7 meters if a 1 megawatt power upgrade is implemented by the tenant at their cost. And so that's exactly what it says it is. I initially the contract was written out so where we could put in a half a megawatt installation, which is fine. But considering the length of time that we're going to be engaging in this land and doing operations on this land, I thought a little bit down the road, and I said, well, what happens if we want to expand and put a full megawatt there? What would our options be if we're locked in at 12 by 7 meters? So fortunately, we've put in the language now that allows us to double that and upgrade to a full megawatt if that comes down the road. So the duration is 3 years, and the 1st of August goes back to the original lease agreement with the guy that's currently moving out. Okay, and then goes into the rent per annual. Okay, checks upon signing the contract, the tenant shall provide the landlord with balance of first year. Oh, whoa, you're skipping over
Sorry.
too fast, man. I can't.
Sorry, I just wanted to bring it down.
Scroll down a little bit.
Okay, scroll down.
Yeah, scroll just a little bit. So,
Just right there.
no, I mean scroll up. Sorry, scroll
Okay.
up.
Okay.
Scroll up. Because I didn't get to read through all that. Wait till I read through it before you scroll it.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so in the checks, the advance yearly checks must be returned by the landlord upon bank transfer verification before the date of the check. Okay, so basically the way things work over here is when you pay your rent, you have to pay rent in checks. Apparently checks are like legal contracts here, and they're better than wire transfers. We prefer to pay everything in a wire transfer, but just to smooth things over, we will write out and post date these checks to clear, year 1, year 2, year 3, or whatever. But just before the post date of that check, we will get with the landlord and we'll wire transfer the money into their account. That way we've got documentation, because checks can be forged. There's all kinds of things. I don't really trust checks, and honestly, if you guys are using checks still, more power to you. For me, I'm nearly 50 years old, and I've been lucky enough in life to just skim by without using checks. I use cards and bank transfers for everything because it's so much easier to trace and assure that things really did happen. Checks can get lost. They can get damaged. There's all kinds of things that can happen to checks. So I'm just not a big fan of that. But basically, that language basically assures that the bank transfer is going to be our main method of payment, and then the check is just something culturally over here that they find more acceptable. All right, so the tenant may use up to 98% of the available 230. No, Sakib, you can't say the available.
Okay.
230 kilowatts, because that limits us, right? What if we upgrade to full megawatt? Just say up to 98% of the available power on the property, whatever that may be.
Sure.
Right? So, currently it's 230 kVA that's running, and that's before any power upgrade or anything like that has been requested. So we're really lucky to stumble on a plot of land that has exactly the amount of power that Monopoly needs right now, given the number of NFTs that have been sold. And so we really don't have to do anything to upgrade the power or anything. We can just straight go in, plug in. It's got a structure on site. Everything's ready to go. And that's why I decided to pull the trigger on it. It's just like too many things perfectly aligned for me to say, like, no, we're going to wait. We're going to wait till tranche 5 closes and see, what happens then. I didn't see any point in that. So,
yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next thing. Use of the bore wells permitted for the tenant's operations when groundwater is available. Okay, can you give me a little bit of expansion on that, Sakib? What were you going after with that?
So basically each plot, as you know, has its own type of water source. This one has a bore well that basically pulls water from the from the ground. And so whenever there's water available, we should be able to use the bore well. And
Tap into that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's basically what I'm saying here.
Now, do we know the quality of that water? Is it salty? Is it sulfuric? I mean, what's
as far as what's
is it mineralized?
What Sai told me, this one is fine for using. You might have to put in a little bit of treatments here and
with
there.
With the vinegar, just to get rid of the mineralization on it. Okay, right. That's no big deal. And this is another term in the agreement that I want to clearly define, because we do need water. We need not every single day, but in general, a pretty constant source or supply of water to keep the cooling curtains cool, keep the water on that, and to get the cooling effect from the cooling curtains. And so the initial lease agreement, it didn't have any language about whose water is what, who has access to water, anything like that. And I said, no, Sakib, we got to add something in there. Yeah. And then it says, in case groundwater is not available, the tenant can bring a water tank. And that's another thing too. we're given a specific area to work in. These water tanks can be vast, they can be huge, and I wanted to make sure that we had space to put a water tank on there. All right, great. Tenant will be responsible for utility payments during the tenancy period only. Okay, that makes sense to me. Tenant shall clear all electricity used during the 3-year term upon expiration of the lease contract with Allied Distribution Company. It just basically means that we don't leave, a bill or anything like that the landowner will have to pay when we leave. Okay, good. Scroll. Oh, too high.
Oh, sorry. Is that good?
Here we go. Yeah, access and residency, 24/7 access to the property is granted to the tenant and its personnel. Good. I'm glad you put in the personnel there. The tenant can build living quarters and have personnel reside on site to manage operations. Great. Compliance and violations. The tenant agrees to adhere strictly to all terms and local laws during the tenancy period. Specific transgressions that may lead to voiding the lease include non-payment of rent, misuse of property, and failure to adhere to local laws and guidelines. Perfect. In case of a violation, landlord agrees to provide advance notice to the tenant to allow a period of 30 days to resolve matters. Great. That's good language. Thank you for putting that in there, Sakib. Construction and upgrades. The tenant may construct additional structures or make upgrades provided they align with the local laws and regulations and with the landlord's approval. Yeah, I don't know if we want to put like a stick in the mud with the landlord's approval.
Okay. Let's just leave it at
The reason being,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would do. And the reason for that is, man, is I don't know this person personally. She could be the sweetest woman on earth. I don't know. But if for some reason my eyelashes are too long and they offend her, or you just never know, man. People are people. You just know. Some people, they get along. Like from day one, me and Sakib been best buddies.
Yeah.
From day one, me and Shove, I didn't know I was going to like him. This is my first time meeting him, but I really like him a lot. He's really smart. He's very clever, and he's a very caring and loving human being. I like him a lot, but I didn't know because I didn't know who he was, right?
Right.
But if it turns out that she doesn't like us for whatever reason that may be, that is now a sticking point that's going to hold us back. So I don't think we should put that in the contract.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
As long as they align with local laws and regulations, she shouldn't have any issues with it.
Right. So as long as we're compliant, yeah, we shouldn't make it a condition that can slow us down. The tenant holds exclusive rights to use, sell, and sublet their infrastructure in the leased area during the tenancy period. Okay. Okay. Without any change to the original agreement is what I would add to that.
I think you missed one section here. Do you see the termination power rate and rent stability? The rent amount shall remain fixed for the entire duration of the lease. The tenant may amicably terminate the lease.
I just see access. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Now I can see it better. Before I was just seeing parts of it. Okay. Rent amount shall be fixed for the entire duration of the lease. The tenant may amicably terminate the lease if the power rates increase. Let's give a specific number for the power rates. Okay. If the power rate increases beyond, okay, what is the equivalent of 5 or not 5 cents, but 2 cents?
So 2 cents.
Can we look that up real quick? Here we go.
Yeah, sure.
Hang on. Let me do AD to USD. AD to USD. So let's see. Right now, wait a minute. What's the Israeli shekel? Oh, because I'm on the I'm on the VPN with Israel. It thinks I'm in Israel right now. Let's do the US dollar. So let's do 2 cents all in, or that's 20 cents. So it's saying here 0.73 fills, or 0.073 fills. So what do you say, 0.075 fills?
Yeah.
0.075 fills. All right. Currently, it's at 4.5 fills, correct?
Correct. 0.045 fills. Yeah.
All right.
So, actually, it should be 7.5 fills. That's what it should be.
No. It's saying here 0.02 is 0.073 in AED.
Yeah, so that's point zero
2
two
cents is
two. Yeah. Mm, so that would be 7.5
2
fils.
cents
Is 7.5 cents or fils in dirhams.
is 2 cents.
Yeah.
Can any of our members, can you guys use the Google real
Let me
quick and
do
confirm this?
let me just do this times 3.67. Yeah, point zero. So that would be 7.5 fils basically.
All right, 7.5 fills.
Hmm. It's currently
So
4.5 fils.
73.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
let's do 4.5 fills is 1.2 cents, and then 7.5 cents or 7.5 fills is 2 cents. Is
mhm.
what I'm getting. Okay. All right. So anyway, yeah. And what I mean by amicably is we need to put in that we will pay 90 days.
Mhm.
So we will prepay 90 days and then we will part ways with them. And again, this is just kind of an apocalyptics. Uh, I wouldn't say prepay. I would just say pay advance pay. Not we would. He keeps like copying everything I'm saying word for
Sure.
word.
The tenant may amicably, well, instead
How
of
about this? How about this? The tenant may amicably terminate the lease if power rates increase beyond 7.5 fills. The tenant agrees. Now I've got to speak like a lawyer here, so keep in copy. The tenant agrees to pay 90 days penalty rent
um,
if power cost increase causes termination.
power increase.
All right. So rent shall remain fixed for the entire duration of the lease. The tenant may amicably terminate lease if power rates increase beyond 7.5 fills. The tenant agrees to pay 90 days penalty rent if power rate increase causes termination. Okay.
Okay, let me know if I can scroll down.
Okay, hold on. 24/7 access. Let's go here. Transgressions. Non-payment of rent, misuse of property, failure to adhere to local laws. In case of violation, landlord agrees. Give us 30 days. Great. Construction upgrade. Tenant may construct additional structures or make upgrades with private. Okay. Exclusive rights. The tenant holds exclusive rights to use, sell, or sublet their infrastructure in the leased area during the tenancy print without any change to the original. Okay. We need to add another adjustment there, okay? During the tenancy period. Period. Put a period after period. All right. Should tenants sell,
Hmm.
lease, right? Shall sell this lease. Tenant may sell this lease without it. You see what I'm? Are you?
Okay,
I
sure,
need
sure.
you to think here for me, Sakib. I'm really tired, man.
Yeah,
Been out in the sun all day. My brain's cooked.
sure. Me
All
too.
right. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is if we sell this to a buyer, the buyer will get everything that we're getting without any changes.
mhm. Should tenant sell this lease to?
I would say I would say should tenant sell lease option, new owner
Hmm.
will have this,
Sure.
will have the remainder of this lease without any changes. without any changes to the original agreement. That was fine. That's fine.
Okay.
All right. Tenants hold exclusive rights to use, sell, or sublet. Tenants hold exclusive right to use, sell, or sublet their infrastructure in the leased area during the tenancy period. Should the tenant sell this lease option, the new owner.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah. So basically, that wording basically says, in the liquidation phase, this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is the liquidation phase to make things attractive to a potential buyer. We'll be able to show the potential buyer if they're going to buy like the whole site, which is probably what's going to happen because I don't think we're going to meet the minimum 0.5 megawatt. So that would mean that we would unload like this entire site. And again, you guys as holders would not only get the proceeds from the miners, but you would get proceeds from the sale of this entire site as is. That's with the structure, the pumps, the water curtains, the shelves, the PDUs, the whole kit and caboodle, if you will.
Yeah.
But this makes it attractive to new buyers because they know what they're getting into. They're not getting into a situation where they now have to renegotiate everything. They can get in with the insurance that all of the terms that we initially agreed upon will then transfer to them upon the purchase. And like I said, just thinking ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, additional clauses. Let's go
Okay.
here.
I'm scrolling down.
Okay.
There we go.
The lease space within the farm boundaries shall be used exclusively for activities mentioned in paragraph C's commercial license and is agreed upon by both parties. The landlord does not have the right to cancel the lease contract or raise the rent value until after the end of the 3-year lease term. The landlord reserves the right to utilize the remaining area of the farm for other projects and will maintain its plantation and palm trees. Why are we putting the language of raise the rent? I don't want to tell a landlord that they can raise a rent in my contracts.
Well, they had it in their original contract, which is kind of why I wanted to put it in there,
Okay.
but
How about instead of raise, increase?
sure.
Increase the rent value until after the end of the 3-year contract lease term. Do you think we also need to put, in case of an increase, the landlord agrees to abide by RERA?
Okay. And well, during this 3 years, they can't increase, but after the 3 years, we can put that it should be by RERA.
Yeah. So after the 3-year term, landlord must agree. Lease period.
Agrees to abide by
Abide by RERA.
guidelines.
RERA rent increase guidelines.
Okay.
And you guys might ask, as I mentioned at the very beginning, this is us putting together everything, and then we're going to take it to an officiate, which is the minutes, whatever. What is that called? Like a type center or whatever?
Typing center, yeah. Legal typing center.
Yeah, the typing center. It's a legal typing center, so then they'll go through everything and make sure all the language is compliant. Okay. Okay. Landlord reserves the right to utilize. Okay, looks good. And then it's signature there.
Signatures, yeah.
Signatures.
Yeah. And
Dark Lord, if you've got any other suggestions to add to it, I think this covers everything on our end, with the exception of Saeed completing the water curtains. But I'm really not worried about that, Saki, because honestly,
yeah.
it's not that big of a site. I mean, if we were going to blow it out to a full 0.5 meg, or a full megawatt, then I think we would really need to worry about that stuff. But
Yeah.
as it is, with just not even a quarter of a megawatt, I don't think that's a dire straits thing. I would like to tidy it up though.
Yeah, like I didn't put it on this because
Um,
that has nothing to do with the landlord. So that's just something that we would get Said
yeah,
to sign.
that's like the contractor, right? So you've
Yeah,
got the landowner, which we're leasing the plot from, and then you've got the contractor, the builder, and
right.
that, we've got to make sure that they do all their stuff. So, but again, I'm not sweating any of that stuff, man, because I mean, even if I got to get there myself, I've got the tools. I can build out that secondary wall and do all that stuff myself.
Mhm.
It's not a big deal.
So I will just translate
Um,
the changes, the new changes to Arabic, and then I will take it to a legal typing center
okay.
tomorrow, and then I'll send it
Yeah, take it
to
to the
Said.
legal typing center, have them go over it with a fine tooth comb.
Hmm.
Also go through, you might want to even have Chat GPT,
I mean,
copy paste it in Chat GPT.
I use ChatGPT's
And
help to get this to basically work to do
okay,
this.
well,
Yeah,
yeah, but have Chat GPT clarify the
of
language on
course.
everything,
Yeah, sure.
right? Um, because like I said, my brain's not working too great today, being out in the sun all day.
Yeah, me
Um,
too. I've been dealing with
yeah,
Amira's
so
sickness, so I'm just
yeah, how's
exhausted.
she doing? Is she still sick?
She's coughing a lot, which is, I guess, good and bad. So she has still has like 101 fever, but her cough is really bad. So just we're giving her some cough medicine and warm water.
Just lots of fluids, man.
Yeah,
Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. She'll pull through. She always does.
yeah,
She'll bounce back.
she will.
All right, man. That seems like it covers all of our interests.
Yeah. Um,
Um, what are we going to do about this first year's installment, man? Because it's already been half paid, right?
yeah, it's already been half paid. The rest of it, the remaining 30,000, they want us to pay during the signing of the check. So we'll basically have the next 10 months paid for.
Yeah. Where's that money going to come from?
Yeah. Um, well, I mean, that's what.
Have you figured that one out? Because I was told when we were negotiating, we wouldn't have to pay another check until two
Until,
months from now,
yeah, 4 months from now, actually.
or four months from now, or whatever. Yeah. So that's not been factored into the budget.
Okay. So that I can change the wording here and then see what they say, basically. Um, so instead of upon signing the contract, the tenant uh, shall provide, I'll just put just the two advance checks.
Well, I mean, no. No, we need to have clarity on we're going to pay out this year.
Yeah,
So we'll give the checks for the next 2 years. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
yeah,
But we need to have clarity that the remainder of this year will be paid on this date at this time. So
right.
we will give one check post dated for this day at this time that will pay the remaining balance for
Hmm.
this year. And then we will give two checks that are post dated for the next 2 years.
Yeah. I told I said that to him. Supposedly the landowner wants the remainder of the amount for this year.
Well, they're already paid up. That's going to double.
Well, no, we're not paying anything more. Basically, they're paid up for the first 6 months, and now we're going to pay for the next 6 months. And since we have 4 months left from the first one, we don't have to pay anything for another 10 months, basically, if we pay now when we sign the check.
Well, like I said, Skip, I didn't put that in the budget, buddy. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
this thing is tight as a frog's ass right now.
yeah.
Um, so, I mean, the idea was we were going to get up and hashing, and then we were going to use the revenues generated from the hashing to pay 4 months from now, which would
Right.
be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're gonna have to figure that one out, man.
Okay. Okay. I will see what I
Unless you
can
guys want to buy another 100 NFTs, you guys want to buy another 100 NFTs, then we'll be fine. We
Yeah.
can use that money.
Yeah.
Now, all
I'll
right.
work with them
So
on this.
yeah, okay. The Dark Lord says I'm going to buy 2 more in a few days. All right. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Every little bit helps. Um, but every little bit helps, though, Dark
Yeah,
Lord.
it
Every
does.
little bit helps, right? You
Yeah.
know, it adds up. You know, pennies become dollars.
Yeah, of course we'll
Um,
clarify with the landlord and we already ordered I mean, I don't like we were talking about the other day, like no other project has been able to get launched this fast with this little amount. And the reason we're able to do that is because
oh yeah.
we're experienced.
I
Okay. Yeah, let me turn up my mic
yeah,
volume.
exactly. I've seen no other project even come close to pulling off what we pulled off. I mean, I think all in all, we've generated a little over $180,000.
Yeah.
And that's, that's enough for us to get operations. Now, as I mentioned, it's just squeaking by, and we don't have like loose change to just throw around and prepay another 6 months rent. Although I wish we did, but we'll figure it out. We'll get it worked out, guys. This is just a technical problem. I mean, even if it's a situation where I have to provide a loan or something, a company loan to float it, and then we'll just have Monopoly pay me back
Yeah.
over time. But I mean, what are we talking about? We're talking like 8 grand, Sakib?
Yeah, about eighty two hundred
9 grand?
dollars. $8,200.
$8,200. Okay,
Yeah.
I think we got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about to close on some really big things, some really interesting things. We've got venture capital VC coming in next week, Sakib,
Yeah. Saturday actually.
right? Okay, this Saturday, which would be tomorrow, and he's got $2 million initially to drop down with us, so we can just maybe take some of the profits out of that and just
Hmm.
honestly, people that are like that petty, like I want all my rent, I want it right now, and I want you to those kind of people. I'll just go ahead and pay 3 years worth of rent just to shut them up because
Right.
I hate people that are that pet. Like it really gets under my skin. Like if you don't trust me to do business, then fine, I'm gonna just shut you up.
Right.
Um, no, he's going to be doing mining as a service with us. He's not going to be buying NFTs. He's going to be going straight to the jugular, and he's going to be doing mining as a service with us. Yeah, I mean, technically with the checks being post dated, then we technically are paying for the rent in advance. I mean, at least in their mindset and their culture, because if you bounce a check over here, it's a crime. You go to jail.
Hmm.
And then they don't play around with that. That's why they want those checks, is so they can come after you if you don't pay. So what I would really rather just do is give them their this. You know what, dude? This reminds me of your birthday when we went to CoinDesk.
Yeah, I don't know. I know what you mean. Like they
This reminds me of your birthday. So we had done a lot of business with this over the counter crypto exchange here. So they knew who we were. I mean, we've probably done almost $1 million
hmm
for the crypto exchange with this CoinDesk. And they knew who we were. It was Sakib's birthday. I wanted to do something nice for him. I wanted to buy him a car. Um, so I said, yeah, Sakib, just go down the CoinDesk and let me know, and I'll send the crypto, and they'll give you the cash, and then you can go buy yourself a nice new car. And like all of a sudden, like we'd done so much business together, and then all of a sudden now they're like, wait a minute, we've got to get this guy's passport, we've got to have him come down and verify who he is. It's like, guys, I've already sent you that, like you already know who I am. They're like, well, we need to do it again, or some kind of BS changed or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I go down to the coin desk, and I come there with my passport and all my IDs and everything like that, and I show them everything. And I said, "Come on, guys, you know Saqib, you know
Yeah,
me, like what's going on?" They're like, we just had to do this and everything." I was like, "Well, okay, now that you've done it, my job is done here. Saqib, happy birthday." And they wouldn't even hand you the cash.
yeah, yeah. It's weird because
They
I
wouldn't even
did
hand you the cash. They're like,
I did almost a
"Yeah,
million dirhams with them personally, and I don't know, like maybe because it came from your Telegram or something like that. I don't know. It was really weird. Like,
no, it was we did something different this time. I think we used a different wallet because it was a birthday present, so it
yeah,
wasn't coming from company money or something.
yeah,
And because it was coming from a new wallet, they had to
yeah,
verify it was me all over again or something like that. But if I'd known that, I could have just sent it from personal wallet A into company wallet B and then done it. Like,
exactly.
what's the difference? Anyway, the long story short of it is, they hand me this stack of cash, and like immediately after they hand me this stack of cash, I just looked over to Saqib and I said, "Happy birthday." And I gave it to him. And then I looked at them and I said, "See, was that so hard?" Or something like that. I
Yeah,
poked at him. Um,
but yeah, it does feel like that. Yeah.
we've talked. What does it say? What,
Hey,
I wish I had a friend to buy me a car. Well, it's kind of a long story with the car thing. It goes way back. So Sakib and I have two, I don't want to say different schools of thought, but just two different approaches towards cars. So my approach towards cars is I buy cars brand spanking new.
hmm
I drive them for 2.5, 3 years, kind of just like the mining cycle, right?
yeah, yeah,
Just to where now what I've paid off on the loan, there's equity in the car. So you
yeah.
see this in my bottle there, that's equity. And then what I'll do is I'll flip that equity into another car. And so what eventually happens is after you go through this three cycles, you end up with enough money to
hmm
buy a brand new car. Now, it won't be an expensive car,
hmm
right? But it'll be, a cheap car, brand new car, flat out with all that equity.
Right.
And then what happens is, most people they buy a car, they get a 5-year loan on it,
hmm
right? So if we look at the conventional buyer, after 5 years, what do they have? They have a 5-year-old car, it doesn't have any warranty on it, starting to have mechanical problems, starting to need, major mechanical services to it, things like that. You do it my way, after 6 years, you end up with a brand new car with, 3 years, 5 years warranty, depending if you get a Korean car or an American car. And it's just a better system to having a car because for the entire 6-year period, you're always in a new car under manufacturer warranty. And so you're never in a situation where you're obligated to make these big, costly maintenance um, things that are scheduled on or any kind of repairs or anything like that. So, I've been telling Sakib about this, day in and day out. Sakib comes to Dubai. Dude, you must have rolled through 15, 20
Yeah,
beaters. I mean, first car you bought, I mean, the Porsche Cayenne, that was awesome,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But immediately you had to like change the drive shaft bearing on that and
yeah, yeah,
stuff, and
yeah.
and then you rolled it in, and then you got into this like beater of what was it, like a Volkswagen or an Audi or
It was
something,
it
dude?
was
That thing
a
was rough.
Yeah, it was a convertible Volkswagen. But it was just for Jointy to kind of drive around here. But I went through like what, six Cayennes, I think.
Yeah, you were like the Cayenne master, the Porsche Cayenne master. But, after seeing him struggle and struggle and struggle and have all these
Yeah,
problems with all these used cars, and, I told Saki, man, you're better off just buying brand new. Finally, I just bit the bullet for his birthday. I got him a brand new car. Have you
yeah.
had any problems with it, Saki?
No, no problems at all, brother.
No problem, man. No problems at all, right? And it's awesome. It like parks itself, it drives itself. It does things that,
Yeah,
you've never had a car do before.
true,
Does it
true.
massage your shoulders?
No, it doesn't do that, but
Does it give you like a does it give you like a happy ending?
it does have
Like, no, wait.
it has a seat cooler and a seat heater, so I guess you can
Hmm,
kind of extrapolate from there.
okay. All right, having fun in Sakib's new car and his new gadgets.
Thank you, brother. Yeah,
But it's also all-wheel drive too.
yeah.
So it goes out in the desert. It goes to these sites which are, some of them have good roads to them. Some of them, it
Oh,
really
wow.
is an off-road experience.
Yeah,
Um, And you've got a daughter. She's going to school every day. She gets sick from time to time. You need a reliable car, man. So that was the least I could do is
Thank you,
hook you
brother.
up with that
Appreciate that.
without any problems. Okay, let's see. Yes, be careful that some loans are worth making depending on A, the rate, and B, the purpose of the loan. If it's to buy stuff, it's not a good loan. If it's to buy things that will make you money, then it's a good one. Yeah, so Dark Lord, I think that's pretty much the gist of it. We're hoping to start plugging in miners sometime next week. It really depends on when they clear customs. Um, and what we've decided, I mean, what we were going to do is we were going to wait until the Monopolians that won the Come Visit Dubai last week, we were going to wait until they came in. And then we were like, you know what? Moving 60 miners, setting up 60 miners, that uh, I mean, I guess as a first time experience, it could be fun, but I think it would be more fun is if we just gave each one two
Two
miners.
miners,
We
yeah.
taught them A to Z because it gets repetitive, it gets monotonous, right?
Hmm.
If you've done, I mean, we've done it thousands and thousands of times, so now I can do it in my sleep. But I didn't want the winners to maybe get caught up in that, so I wanted to kind of keep it super simple, right?
Right.
Give them each two minors. So what is that? 60 minus 6. So that would be what,
54.
54?
54.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and just start mining right away. We're not going to waste any of your time, to showboat and, oh, no, we got to wait until the Monopolians come in so we can film all this. We're not going to do that. We're just going to go ahead and plug them in, 54 miners, get them up and running, get them up and hashing. We're going to leave 6 behind in our staging warehouse so the winners of the Monopolian contest can come in, they can learn how to configure these machines, and then they can take their 2 machines each, which also, by the way, will be easy to transport in our cars. And then they can physically move them from the cars and plug them in and say, woohoo, I started mining. um, need more money to invest with this team. Yeah. Yeah. If you know any whales, feel free to introduce.
Yeah.
Um,
We hope it.
wait a minute. You're one of the Monopoly winners, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you're
he
going to
is.
be part of the plug and chug team. So that'll be fun.
Yes. Looking forward to seeing him.
They get 2 of their own miners, or is it just they get to, yeah, they, they get to set up and go through the whole process A to Z with, staging, configuring, testing, and then loading them on the car, unloading them off the car at the site, and taking them to the shelf, putting them on the shelf and plugging them in. But they will not own them
Hmm.
as like owners. They just get to experience the whole process A to Z with 2 miners each. And I thought that would just be more what can I say? It just easier, a baby step rather than, getting 3 strangers and having them have to coordinate, the full 60 machines. I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem for you guys, but I just thought, let's try to keep it a smooth, simple, easy process where nobody gets exhausted, nobody gets tired. It can get hot, in the sun here,
Yeah,
and I
really
didn't
hot.
want anybody getting in a situation where like, man, I feel like I was kind of used as slave labor or something. you know? Yeah. We have more staff for the mining facility, or is it only Sakib XP? What do you mean more staff for the mining facility?
Like, I think he's talking about operators
Oh,
and
okay,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we always have staff on site, and if you look at the terms of our lease, we're only using a small portion of the entire plot of land, and there's also other workers on that plot of land at all times.
Hmm.
Well, it's only going to be 2 miners each,
Yeah, so it's not
Dark Lord. So it's really nothing that none of the winners have to worry about. Let me put it this way: if lifting 2 miners stresses your body out and wears you out, then you've got bigger problems than Monopoly. Like, we need to get you to a cardiologist or a pulmonologist and get you checked out.
yeah,
So if that happens, we'll be at the ready.
yeah.
Um, better I drive because I drive faster than Sakib. I'll get you to the hospital ambulance style.
Yeah.
Sakib will get you to the hospital grandma style because he's got that new car. He's like, Ooh, I don't want the wind to hurt my new car. Gotta drive it, gotta take care of it. It's my little baby, you know. uh,
I drove at 138 today too, man. I just can't get myself to go up to 140. I don't,
you can't go to 140.
well, I mean, I don't want
Dude,
to
I
take,
did 140 the whole way there and the whole way back.
it's a 700 dirham ticket, and like for like 3 kilometers an hour. I don't want to risk it, man.
No, so if you look at no, 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 no. So your speedometer is not extremely accurate at that high up in the speed.
Okay.
And if you look at, your GPS,
Yeah,
it's like five,
it
well,
is.
it's like 5 kilometers under what the
Yeah.
limit is. So you'll be fine, man.
Okay.
But dude, even when I was doing 140 in Abu Dhabi, I had a dude pass me. I mean, he wasn't going really fast, but he's going like maybe 143, 144.
Okay.
He passed me right by the camera, and it didn't
Yeah.
go off on him. So
Okay.
yeah, it's insane to think they will bring us to see other things that fast. This is very rare in this space. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to be the gold standard, and as far as I'm concerned, until another project goes above and beyond what we're doing, I will rest my case on that.
Yeah.
I think sunlight is the best disinfectant,
Yeah.
right? And if you're running a legit project, I was watching, okay, who here has watched the movie The Big Short? I was watching the movie The Big Short today,
I've seen it.
and one of the things, um, I love that movie. It's like a great movie. One of the things that is a clear indicator of a system collapse is the amount of complexity and fraud that begins to happen, right?
Yeah.
So the more complicated something gets, the more difficult it is to understand, or the more abstract or weird or whatever like that, that is a clear indicator that failure is imminent.
Hmm.
It is imminent. And then when you add into that fraud, is also a clear indicator that failure is imminent. And if you look at the movie The Big Short, how did these guys figure out that the real estate market or the housing market was just on the verge of collapse? It's because they looked at the underlying information. They looked at the actual information that were used to generate these mortgages, and they were just total crap.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense. They were using, fake employment information, fake income information, and they saw this fraud. And then when they saw that these mortgages were then reshuffled into new tranches and named something new, it
Yeah.
became self-evident. Like there is rampant complexity and fraud going on in the system, and this is going to cause an imminent failure. You may notice our project's pretty straightforward and simple. The math is straightforward and simple. Everything that we're doing, every step that we're taking, straightforward, logical, simple, direct, right? And that's how you know. That's how you know you're dealing with something real. You're dealing with something genuine. And I mean, it's immediate red flag to me. I mean, when we got in the Horde project,
Yeah.
one of the first things I said to you, Sakib, I was like,
How are
where's the
they
money
making
coming
money?
from?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to know where the money in. So, where's the money in? Where's the money out? Because if I can't see the money coming in, then how do I know I'm going to be able to get my money out? And then you convinced me that they had this really cool liquidity manager that was
They
like
did.
this AI bot
Yeah.
that was doing trades and it was making phenomenal yields.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to try to, like this still doesn't make sense to me. I need to see the ones and zeros, but I'm going to try to keep an open mind and give this a chance. Um,
He's like, so you were those 100 plot whales. Yeah.
yes, we will. Actually, I think we've got more than 100
Yeah.
plots,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Um, but I tried to keep an open mind, and I thought, okay, if this technology, I'm a firm believer of technology, guys. Like I've been a nerd, a geek, a dork for more than half of my life, and I thought, if this is a real deal, like we've got to, support it. We got to give it a chance. And so, yeah, we dropped some change on Horde, and the real thing, okay, it was the liquidity manager that was like, okay, this shows some hope and promise, but the real thing that I was counting on was the game itself,
Yeah, same
right?
here.
Um, so yeah, it was going to be like a play to earn thing, or a, play for us to earn as we were components of the game, would be plots in the game. And I could really see that taking off. I could really see that happening. And like they were building it up, dude, all the
Hmm.
way until Halloween, right? They were like, "Oh, we're so close to launching the game." They even showed us like some sort of video or something of like the character like jumping around with a little sword and killing things and stuff. And I was like, "Oh, okay, this is gonna be dope." And then it was like 3 weeks later, I'm gonna say like November, towards the end of November, they just like totally pulled the plug. They're like, "Oh, we have to completely rethink things," and they shut down. Like you couldn't buy plots anymore, you couldn't do anything. And then they came up with some hokey payback scheme that was going to take 8 years, if ever, and it just became nonsense. Um, and that's when I kind of threw my hands up in the air and I said, "Dude, we got rugged. This is
Yeah.
it. This is a rug." And then a couple months later, we come to find out that they're
They're into
mining.
mining. Oh my God. And they
And
knew
I
us
was
like,
like, that was like a kick in the face because they
yeah,
knew us.
yeah,
Guys, their mining rates, I guarantee you, they're not getting anything near what we're getting.
no, for
I mean,
sure.
we're the plug when it comes to mining.
Yeah.
And why didn't they reach out to us? They just
Because
blocked me. like, like we could have hooked them up. I mean, we could have made a real difference. We could have, given this a real shot. But I think, maybe that's the thing too, is, sunshine is the greatest disinfectant. And I'm just like, no BS, man.
yeah,
I tell people how it is all the time.
yeah.
This guy doesn't know how to take me. Like, this is the first time he's met me, and he's just like, should I say yes? Should I say no? I don't know. Yes, sir. But, that's the thing. Like, with me, you're always going to know how I'm feeling. I'm not good at sugarcoating anything.
Hmm.
You're always going to know where things stand. Um, I'm just, I don't know. I'm not really, like a politician about things. I'm just get to the point. Tell me what's going on, what's happening, what can we do about it, and work the problem. You know,
Yeah,
you can either be a part of the solution or you can be a part of the problem. And I
yeah.
always choose to be a part of
Solution.
the solution.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. What's this here?
So Dark
They're
Lord.
separate. They're by mass from us. Uh,
So the question was, so the Monopoly, so will Monopoly be housed
okay.
with the 2 million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Monopoly has its own facility. Like I explained before, we came across an opportunity of a pre-established facility. They haven't upgraded the power, but they've already built out all the infrastructure. And it just so happens that the power that they already have is perfect to run the amount of people involved in Monopoly. And so I thought about it and I said, why would we want to wait until tranche 5 closes? We've got enough to move on this now. Let's just go ahead and get it done. Now, the other venture capital, that's going to be a completely separate um, project. That's going to be their mining as a service. Well, what I was referring to with them is we can utilize their purchase as mining as a service to prepay the rent for you guys, and then obviously Monopoly would have to pay us back. Because I was just thinking, where can we get the capital reserves to do that? Because I don't want to pay it out of my pocket. I can pay it out of my pocket, but I'd much rather have it, paid from like a
From
business
company
transaction, like a
profits. Yeah.
business to business.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of a business owing me a personal debt. Because trust me, guys, you don't want to be in debt to me. I'm not in debt to anybody, and you don't want to be in debt to me. That's not a happy place for people. um, so I was just thinking out loud how we could, make that happen. But we'll figure it out. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's only $8,200, so it's yeah. And like I said, if you guys keep doing mints, then there should be enough in the till with Monopoly that we can just pull out of that till and get it taken care of. Um,
Yeah. I think that's
any news?
pretty
How
much.
about you cannot fix a problem with the same reasoning or line of thought that created? This
Yeah.
is true, Rebel. I couldn't agree more, man. I am definitely somebody that thinks out of the box, and I don't take no for an answer.
Hmm.
Which, interestingly enough, the Japanese will never say no to you. But if they say anything other than yes, it
It
means
means
no.
no. You
Yeah.
you said that before.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, just always remember that, right?
Yeah.
Because I wasted like years of my life, like, so can I get a yes or no? And they're like, ちょっと難しいね。大変。うーん、we need to think.
That
We need
means
to think about
no.
it longer. That basically means no, right? If they say yes, we're going to move forward, then that means yes. But if they don't say yes, then that means no.
Right.
um, so that's why I'm not used to being told no, because they didn't tell me no in Japan for almost 10 years when I lived there.
All
But
right.
yeah, so I think that pretty much catches us up on everything, Saki.
Yeah, it
Always
does.
fun to kind of share our little personal adventures and our little stories together. Saki, I think you got some pictures with you and the cash in your hand
Uh,
going.
yeah, I do somewhere. I have to look for it.
Yeah,
I'll share it. I'll share it
yeah,
in the
see if you can
Discord.
share that. Um, just to show again, guys, sunshine is the greatest disinfectant. And I know some of you guys might hear some of the things that I say and you think, oh, that's BS, or he could have just made that up. Everything I say is verifiable,
Yeah.
absolutely verifiable. Like I wouldn't say anything that would not be verifiable or that I couldn't prove.
Yeah.
And I think, Sakib, you've got the pictures of me and
Yeah.
you at the CoinDesk. Okay, Dark Lord, yes. I did promise that I was going to go into that. I was going to do a quick T&A. So let me wrap that up. Let me wrap everything up with a quick T&A, technical analysis. Let's see here.
So as
Let's
expected,
see.
I
I'll go to
think,
tree.
we're in the wave two correction.
Yeah, let me see here, because we noticed that there was loss of momentum and volume
Yeah.
um, earlier this week, Sakib, when we were taking a look
Hmm.
at it here. So I'll tell you somebody who would be really good to give us a technical analysis is somebody that's worked at a crypto exchange for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
This guy right here, let's get his take on it. So currently what I'm seeing right now is we're in a BART. We're in a big BART, and we've got resistance at the 24/7 level. We've bounced off of that twice. And then we've got, the 29-30,000 resistance that was established way, 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 way back in the bull run. And we're trying to break through it. We've had several heavy attempts to do it, but what is concerning me is the drop in volume, the decline in volume. So because we're having a decline in volume, that tells me that the market itself is not happy with the current price actions. And
Hmm.
traditionally, historically, when we have this decline in volume, that also signifies that the bears are about to win, meaning that there should be a capitulation coming.
Hmm.
So what I'm seeing, the writing on the wall, the capitulation. What is capitulation? So, you guys might hear all these weird technical terms. Capitulation basically means give up,
Hmm.
right? So when you have two sides fighting, one side is going to give up, right? And when that side gives up, it's called capitulation. What I'm seeing visually in the decline of volume is that the bulls are about to give up. Now, this is important for us to see and know because it now tells us that we're in a corrective process. So
Yeah.
what I'm visually seeing is we're in a corrective process. And let me go ahead and pull up the Fibonacci. We'll go here and pull the fib.
You want to share your screen real quick?
I don't think I can. I'll try
Okay.
because I'm using the app here, or not the app, but the for some reason my app isn't working on my computer anymore.
Really? Yeah, I guess you just
Yeah,
just
I'm
refresh
clicking on
Windows.
it. It's not letting me do it because I'm
Okay.
using the web. version.
Okay, no worries.
Fibonacci is
Bring
you're
that.
the IT fix it. I it's not that simple. It's a more deeply rooted problem with my OS that needs to be done. And I've already discussed with Sakib that I'm
Yeah.
just going to reinstall the OS and fix that. When you get these laptops, right, and they give you, some crummy Windows 10 Home or whatever, and then Windows decides to force you to upgrade to the new OS. Whenever they upgrade to
Don't
the
do it.
new OS, invariably they have, all these little gremlins and stuff that come in with it. And so it's better just to cleanly upgrade to the OS, and that's what I'm going to do. But let's look at the Fibonacci retracement. If we go to the golden pocket, it looks like we're going to go down to 21.5 is the golden pocket. And I'm also seeing a confluence of evidence here that shows that there would be support in that region, especially right here, right there. We've got that support. So what do I see? We're in a corrective pattern that's going to go to 21 something, 21.8, 21.5, and then I think we're going to rebound from there. Show, what is your opinion?
It's actually difficult, but in 2024, next year, will coming halving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So last time when BTC grow, I mean growth. Sorry for my English. Um, it was after halving, like 5 months or 6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So, um, for my view, it will to like box for not changing big, not changing big.
Okay, you think it's going to flatline into the halvening
Yeah,
and then past the halvening and then start an uptrend?
yeah, I think so. Or it happened two times, like in 2020 and 2016. So people think the same thing. So at this time, maybe the behavior will change a little. So it might upping before halving also. So it is you should see carefully, I think.
Okay, so typically what Sakib and I see before the halvening is actually it does an uptrend
Yeah.
and then it does a downtrend. So if we look at all the other halvening events, so these yellow lines, this is the halvening, this is the halvening,
Yeah.
this is the halvening that's upcoming. And this is especially important after every halvening because it flushes out the weak hands.
Hmm.
So all the people that have power rates that are way too high, that have miners that are way too inefficient, this is when they give up, they capitulate. And we've seen this repetitively after every halvening.
Hmm.
And then after they give up, that's when
Then,
the bull,
yeah.
because it's almost like these guys are the ones that are holding everything back.
Yeah.
And when they give up and they get out of the market and the weak hands wash out, that's when the strong hands take over.
Hmm.
And that's when everything goes into an uptrend. So I agree with you that for the most part, we're going to have sideways movement. I do see the potential to have a correction
Yeah.
down to the 21,000 line. And then maybe we'll go and have some more sideways movements. But within 6 months after the halvening, and that will be April of 2024,
Hmm.
I believe. Let me check
Yeah,
here.
April or May. So it's most likely April. It depends
April or
on.
May
Yeah.
of 2024.
Hmm.
End of April, beginning of May of 2024. Within 6 months or so
Oh yeah.
of that, that's when you
Fireworks.
definitely want to be holding, and you just want to hold on for dear life. Hold, and write it up because this one we're predicting some really big
Yeah.
gains.
Yeah.
Stock to flow says we're going to go to
400.
470,000. Yeah, 470,000 is what the stock to flow. Now, oftentimes the stock to flow is every example it's actually gone above the stock to flow. But yeah, this is going to be the mother of all bull runs. This is going to be a
Hmm.
very exciting bull run, and it's going to make a lot of money. And again, that's why we had the conditions that we do in our lease agreement. So we had the maximum flexibility of when that happens, because that's what it's all about. Since it's the end of the year, in my opinion. Traditionally, what we've always seen is the winter months, the winter season, end of fall, beginning of winter, when people do, Thanksgiving, all that
Yeah.
stuff through Christmas. That's when we've really seen the biggest gains. I mean, even in the last bull run, that's when we really got the wows, right?
Yeah, when we were in a bull run and it
Um,
was the end of the year, it was huge. But in a bear market,
yeah, the November,
obviously it's different.
December.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, in the bear market, we're not going to see much movement, but just kind of looking ahead, I'm saying December in 2024 it's
Oh,
going to be exciting times to talk about
yeah,
what kind of crypto you're holding, right?
yeah,
That's what I'm predicting. So short term, I'm predicting a correction. Long term, a year from now, I think everybody's going to be really happy with the crypto that they're holding.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Does that answer your questions?
Mm-hmm.
I agree too.
Okay, so we have a confluence of agreement with the minds. All right, fantastic, guys. As always, lovely to talk with you. Hopefully, I'll have the gremlins and everything sorted out by next week. Definitely, I'll have them sorted out by the live AMA when we have all the winners of Monopoly come here at the villa
Yeah.
with me to do the AMA all together with all of us. And I hope you guys have a great weekend and
Yes.
see you next time.
All right. Take care, guys.